Huh. Yes, I'm wearing red leopard print panties. This is a weird lipstick color. See, I got a bunch of them. A whole bunch of them got thrown out when I moved out of the house. So yeah, I'm one of them. I'm one of them entities who I can write songs about anyone and get away with anything, and nobody from the mainstream will act like I exist. I can diss them in any way I want. Like, I wrote songs, and they're out there to stream too, like Dominion. Dominion Mix 3 is pretty good. It's spelled Guh, then Minion, Minion, you know, because, well, duh, he's a duh minion, right? You know, fomenting their agenda mentality upon their fans. So yeah, the songs are about and like AOD by the Crikeys. Yeah, that's me too. Niggas said like what 25, 26 times, some weird shit. And using a lift of Tupac's "How do you want it? How do it feel?" Yeah. So, but yeah, the songs are like jabbing at people, like well, anti people, like damn, it's so stupid I can't remember their names. Kendrick Lamar and Ice Cube, you know, who they write hate speech and then they cry when their little white fans sing it with them. You know, I was like, oh no, I'm crying. I heard them say this. You wrote it. It's stupid. Damn, you dumb motherfuckers. So yeah, let's put me on this platform where I'm like the Phantom of the Opera in Hollywood. They know about me, but I can say anything I want about them and they'll just act like I don't exist. I can write any awesome hit I want about them, you see. And Dominion's a hit waiting to happen. Like, you know, if people who listen to rap weren't so, you know, brain dead, you see, where they could appreciate a little bit of musical composition, or maybe a little bit of some other music integrated into it instead of a beat. When you diminish the music, what you term as the music, for a whole genre, you diminish it down to it's a beat. You said it all, didn't you? I never called my beats. I always called them blends because they were blends, awesome blends of music. But anyway, I was talking about this beautiful platform I'm on, where now I can write songs that are direct lifts from people like Madonna, and they won't say shit. They'll act like the shit don't exist. You don't believe me. I didn't notice it till like a month later because I wouldn't have did it on purpose, especially not Madonna, right? It's like a month later I'm listening to Lovely. It's usually in the comments, the last few videos. Then by Dirty Candy, okay? It's like, and I'm listening to it and I notice, hey, wow, this is a direct lift from an old Madonna song from back in like the 80s and shit, you know? I feel like I got August just in my wig. So, what's hitting my butt that I don't want them to run a scope up my butt, you know, do one of those colonoscopies on me. Well, my butt is very deep, but it's also tight. I mean, it just can't be loosened up. You know, it's like it can be rode all night and all day by, you know, fist fucked everything, and it still just tightens right back up. Interesting, yes. Because while other people's butts ain't like that, you can flap them out and they're flapped out. That doesn't mean I don't have collapsed anal muscles that resemble a vagina. That just means that, you know, up in there it's super tight. And that's because, well, you know, the stuff that happened to me as a kid, you know, I think one of the entities lost a cock ring up in my ass, and well, he had a pretty big sized dick, so your dick would have to be bigger than that, and I think it's pushed way up in there. And then also in the ghetto, when some shit happened during a double team, from front and back, right, at the same time, double team, as a little kid, right? Because I was a pretty little kid with the plump booty, a little white boy in the ghetto, and I was going through that thing because of what was happening at church. I actually did think I was a girl, right? I functioned as a girl, anally and orally for adults. Okay, so I was very confused about, I knew that my spirit is a female, but I had the penis, and I talked as a young child to my aunt about that, and it horrified her. I still remember, talking about how I'm gonna have to do something about my penis when I get older. I didn't call it a penis back then. I think I called it a dick or my pecker or something. It was some dumb shit. Yeah. So, in the ghetto, a piece of glass got lost up in my anus. So yeah, there's two things up in my ass. One of them is probably what's causing the bleeding. Maybe it worked itself way up in there, and that's why I feel it like up in my gut. And then if you get like in a fight or knocked down on some shit, and your gut hits really hard on it, maybe something cut, or something. And there's that coincidence where it's not really an internal injury so much as a pre-existing condition, and it was just waiting to happen. And I think that's what's happening. So yeah, because I think it was like the end of a Coke bottle or some shit. I don't know. I don't remember. Because my mind blocked a lot of the stuff out that happened. I walked around in like a fugue as a kid, with big pouty lips that looked like I had lipstick on. And I even had an aunt grab me and rub my lips, thinking she's going to rub the lipstick off me. And she said, "Oh, I thought you had lipstick on." It's like, no, that's from being in the closet with that dude over there. I didn't tell her that. It's like, as well, you think motherfuckers will see this shit, It's like you had a party and they snatch you out and take you off in a closet, or take you out to a bathroom, or run upstairs with you, or run downstairs with you. You think somebody noticed, during the church service, hey, the music minister's gone, like, kid. This happens every fucking church service. They disappear. Where do they go? You see, you get taught to perpetuate sacrilege in church, orally servicing somebody in the basement while the service is happening upstairs, you see. And then you get told, don't tell anyone, but teach everybody that you see what you learned in church. So there's the double thing, and then you're the oldest kid of a generation, right? So all the younger ones, they want to know what you know, and they're curious. So you innocently show them, and then you realize, hey, wow, I didn't groom them so much as it was less traumatic for them when they got hit by the adults who did, when I got too old, went to them, you see. And that's why some of them are so fucked up, is okay, so you think I'm fucked up, but I was always transgender. And what happened to me is just something that it happens to some entities, if you're pretty and young, and you can be sensualized and sexualized, and you can keep the secrets, right? That's important. Can you keep the secret? Yeah. Oh, you slip and tell somebody, and then people are going to jail for threatening to do the same thing to them, or You see, so it's like, yeah, um, I guess you gotta keep the secret, right? To keep trouble from happening. You find out it can get really ugly if you tell even one person that's protective of you. Uh, because well, you just think everybody's in on it, all the adults know. So it's like, well, yeah, this is just conversation piece. So and so's dick so big, yeah, it feels really good in my butt or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You just think that it's some normal shit you can talk about because, well, they're letting it happen. Everybody's seeing it. Surely they can see it. Surely they can see it. They can't see it. Oh wow, that's weird. They can't see that. So anyway, let's change the subject. Did you know there's a lot of missing people? And I don't mean just from this era. I mean historically. If you do any studying of the Tic Tac UFOs, they were referred to as Tic Tacs because I guess they look like Tic Tacs. If you do any studying on those, for some reason associated to those is spiral portals or stargates, right? As described in the Revelation of John. But in the Revelation of John, they're called lakes of fire. Okay, or the lake of fire. But it's actually a portal. Stargate. Now, associated to these Tic Tacs, UFOs, that it's documented, okay? But the Bible also documents this. You can't proclaim to believe in God and believe in His Word, and then doubt that there's aliens because, well, God describes them. He describes the crafts, and mentions them all throughout the Old Testament, right? Not so much in the New Testament, but throughout the Old Testament. Because the Old Testament's kind of about, the historical overlay, and the New Testament's about the spiritual underlay, you see. And people don't understand what they're looking at. So, but anyway, associated to these Tic Tacs is all these various civilizations that all the people came up missing up out of the area at the same time. And the thing that they had in common was worshiping of a constellation. And they all built their cities with like their altars or whatever, their monuments, their obelisks, in the strategic star points, you see. And this is something that they had in common. Like, 20 million Mayans just disappeared out of the last Mayan city. There's another place where, a significant amount of people just came up missing, just gone, right? Not no small number, but I mean, like whole civilizations just disappeared. And there's no evidence of why. There's this one group of people that there's some Indians, Navajo, I think it is, named them. Fuck, I forgot the name. It was right on the tip of my tongue, though I had to say the Indians. Shit. But anyway, the name means, it talks about them, the legend of them. It's a descriptive of them. Those who went home. They went through a portal, right? And it's like, that's what is attributed to them coming up missing. All of them. Millions of them, right? And these things happened, and then, the study carries over to modern day, some stuff, like just recent, like 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 2014, somebody goes missing and then a whole bunch of other people go looking for them and they come up missing too, right? It's like, shit like that, weird shit that's attributed to the presence of these Tic Tacs, okay? Some of you have experienced things that are not normal human paradigm experience. Okay? So, you may have been acclimated to it as a child, so you'd be like, okay, Truman and the Truman Show, where a light could fall from the sky and land next to him, and somebody gets to say, oh, it's part of a jet, you know? You see what I'm saying? One of the actors who's privy to what his life is. You see, and you can be acclimated to stuff where you don't even realize that it's there. Okay, like you can get acclimated to the smell of the invisible robots. So that then when they're in the room with you, you can't smell them. You're not going to see them. They're invisible. But they are machines, and they do have like oils and grease on them. They're, you know, they've been made in shops, and they have smells on them. And if they can acclimate you to the smells, they get you to do dope where you're snorting shit up your nose and you fuck up your sense of smell. They can have 2 or 3 of them in the room with you, and you wouldn't know it. Oh, I'm talking crazy shit. You ever bumped into something that wasn't there? Recently, it's like they're common things now, man. You okay? Have you like been pushed by something? How about you're in bed? You feel something sitting down on the bed? Sitting on the couch, feel something sitting on the couch, like on the arm of the couch. You know, it didn't sit on the cushion next to you. There's no indentation. Or maybe it just bumped into the couch. Because, well, it is a robot. It's probably kind of clumsy, right? Whoever's controlling it, you know, might be mesmerized with what they're seeing. You see, you know, because, well, it's probably being ran by somebody. You know, they are, and they're probably looking. I mean, just like the traitors that used to be our military that would protect us from all threats, domestic and foreign. You know, it's like Bill Gates in this whole thing with this whole hoax is something they were supposed to protect us from. And instead, they're protecting them by spying on us, committing more treason against us. On behalf of the treasonous traitors, who I guess they own them. So we don't have no hope. Putin got took in. I don't know. Maybe Trump gave him a ride in his plane to pedophile, and I don't know. I don't know how they got him. We were supposed to get help from the north. Surely it's not me. I'm in the heart of the north, and I feel inclined to stay here. Right? And there's nobody else who will tell anybody the truth about anything. That's why the Christians are so mean and spiteful and judgmental. And even their theologians who know everything about the Bible and have it memorized forwards and backwards, every translation, even they are biblically illiterate. Because, well, they have physically ingested the subject, not spiritually. You see? And what they needed to ingest was the spirit to process it so that they could regurgitate it in a fleshly manner to those who aren't going to rise up to their level. That's your responsibility as that type of minister. Like, I lived up to my responsibility as my type of minister to get on my hands and knees every day and sip 5 litters, feed indoor kitties and feed outdoor kitties, spend an hour serving entities every day, sweeping up the area they use and everything, before I would make myself a cup of coffee, put my teeth in, have a cigarette, or make myself breakfast. And I lived that for years. Years. Does your minister have the same level of self-discipline? Would he do it if God told him to? You have to wonder. How does he feel qualified to tell you anything I wonder